Year 8s, it's Mrs. Blokes again, and today we're going to be cooking Anzac biscuits. Because next Saturday is Anzac Day, we thought it was relevant that we cook them. Now, what we're going to do today is there's two parts to this recipe, the wet part, ingredients, and the dry ingredients. What I'm going to do first is the wet ingredients. So we need butter for that, and we need 75 grams. Now, when you get a block of butter like this, you can see it comes in 50, 100, 150, 200 and 250, but we only need 75. So how are we going to do that? Well, if we have 50 plus 50, that equals 100 grams, but we only need 75. So what I'm going to do is keep 150 whole, but I'm going to divide 150 by 2. So 2 into 50 is 25. So I'll cross that out. So now I want 50 plus 25 equals 75 grams. Easy as that. So physically, how am I going to do that? So I'm going to open up my butter, but before that I'm going to mark 50 and 50. Open up my butter, and you can see I still have my marks there. So that's 50 makes it 100. So I can put a mark there. So I'm going to keep that one whole. I'm going to cut this one in half. So there we go. I have 75 grams. So what I'm going to do before I put it in my saucepan to melt, I'm going to cut it up into little pieces so it's faster. There we go. 75 grams in my, put that away for cooking later. So we've got the butter in the saucepan. What I'm going to add now is 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. Now, as I said last demonstration, if you've got a tablespoon, the old-fashioned one, that's great. Or if you've got this one, that's great. For this, I'm going to actually use my old-fashioned one, just because in case that's all you've got at home, that's fine. So we need a tablespoon of golden syrup. Okay, don't overdo it because then they'll be too runny. I'm going to place it in there because I don't want to waste any, so I'm just going to let it dribble off by itself. So we have the butter, we have the golden syrup, and then we need 2 tablespoons of milk. So then I'm going to come back to this one. So we need 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Then I'm going to put this on the stove and let it melt. And then while it's melting, we'll do our dry ingredients. So I'll just put that on medium. There we go. Right, back over here. We need 1/2 cup of sugar. We need a teaspoon of baking powder. We need 2/3 cup of flour, plain flour. Now your recipe said wholemeal. I've run out, so it's just normal plain flour. 2/3 cup. I've got 1/3 and 1/3. Yes, they're in different sets because I've got different sets. So that's fine. Or if you had a 2/3 cup, you could use a whole 2/3 cup. So what I'm going to do is put my flour in. Now the recipe said to stir, just to put your baking powder in later. I don't want to do that. I want to put my tablespoon of baking powder in with my flour because that way it gets distributed evenly. So I'll just grab a spoon out of my drawer and give it a quick shake. Any little bits left over, I'll just give them a quick push through. Then we need to add our sugar. Then we need to add our oats. So we'll just do a double check. Sugar, baking powder, flour, oats. Good. Now I'll get my plastic scraper out. Give it a really good stir. Now, going back to the oats, if you don't have rolled oats, porridge oats are okay. That's fine. But it's just better to have the the oats because they just look better, I always think, but that's okay if you've only got porridge oats. Now, back over here, we have our butter melting. I'll just turn it up a little bit because I'm here watching it. If you're not watching it, don't put it on high because it can burn. Just giving it a quick buzz to melt. You see why I put it on earlier, because it just takes time otherwise. Now, we're going to come back over here, use my scraper because I want to get every tiny little bit of moisture out. I don't want dry biscuits. Yuck. And give it a good stir. Do your cutting through because using a cutting motion increases the surface area and it mixes it better. Okay, that's just about done. I'm just giving it a, oh, that's some flying biscuit. That one didn't want to go. Okay, so now I've got my baking tray, my baking paper and my cooking tray. Now I've put baking paper down. If you don't have baking paper, you can use a spray or you can get a little bit of plastic wrap and a little bit of butter and grease it that way. That's fine, doesn't matter. Now, to make these sort of look a little bit uniform, I'm going to use a soup spoon and I'm going to scoop them on so that they're all about the same size. Or you can roll them, you know, you can do whatever you like really, just as you get them on the tray. That one needs a little bit more. That one, I think the first one I did a little bit. So you continue doing that until you've got your whole tray done. And then you'd put them in the oven at 180 degrees. This is them where they come out. They're nice and golden underneath and on top. They're nice and crunchy and crispy. And that is how we make Anzacs. So, I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. I hope you're enjoying Unlearn Learning. It's certainly different. It's different for us too as teachers. But I hope that you've done your nutrition assignment. Don't forget, it's due this Friday on the 24th of April. You need to upload it. And then the following week, we'll upload another booklet to start. So, stay safe, stay well, get outside and exercise. Don't eat too many biscuits and enjoy your weekend. My weekend's cooking demonstrations. See you later. Bye, your eights.